Good afternoon, everyone. This is the title of my presentations. And today I would like to share the following topics in my presentations. The contents I covered in my mathematical modeling, the course, and what kind of the project I give to my class, and then the class, the problem, and the discussions. This is the new one I incorporated in the year of the 2020. And then I say some online the resources and the school team, the participation. And this is the textbook we use currently for the mathematical modeling, the class. And so far, right now, yes. And go back. And so far, this is my first semester to teach the mathematical modeling. I'm so excited about this course and my student as well. And this course is for the math and math education, the major. And we have the engineering, we have electrical engineering, and we also have the mechanical engineering. This is a new major for the for our college, and computer science as well. They can join this class as one of their required course. So we mainly introduce the discrete and also the continuous, the models. We also cover some theory and the empirical, and so we did not really do the experiment, but we base on the data from the textbook provided, and then we do some observation. And we will explore the different applications and the finance, logistic, and the biology, and the engineering, and so on. And to keep the class vigorous, and we also want to keep this one is fun, and then we give some projects, and then the class the problem. And when the student do the project, then they will have some flexibility. So they will have a lot of the space and then to work on their own projects. Our university, the size is not a big one. We have around 2,000 students in the whole campus. And the class, the size is around 5 to 10 students. We also have the satellite, the campus, around 60 miles away from the town I have. So briefly about we will cover the mathematical modeling, the process to our students. So mainly we will look at the real world, the observation, and then change to the model. But in the middle, we need a lot of this simplification. So students will learn how to write the assumptions. So we spend a lot of the time to go through the assumptions from the book, or they have the time and in the discussions is the assumption reasonable? And then we did not do a lot of the things about the analysis, because we would like the student to explore the method to do it, and then to interpret to the real world, the conclusion. So this is mainly about the structure of teaching the modeling, the idea. So in this semester, so far I cover the difference equation and also the system of the difference equation, the dynamic systems, and we will go to the differential equations and the analytical, the solutions. So we will go to the long-term, the behavior, and also the sensitivity analysis and the equilibrium distribution. And in the class, we did some experiment. Yes, I created spreadsheets so that if we change some of the parameter of the model, the initial condition or some number, adjust that. So the behavior of the answer will be changing drastically. And about the data analysis, what I say is we use the Excel, and we're also using the decimals, the .com. And we will incorporate the teaching, the computer, the languages. In fact, the students from the computer science and also in the engineering, they know the Python and the MATLAB pretty well as well. How do we determine the parameters and using the graph? And next one we mainly cover is the assumption. If they include this one to make their model, what assumption they should include it? Are they reasonable? So that the main topics we will cover in this course. And also the fitting of the numbers. How do you find out if you get a whole bunch of the discrete data point, then how do you estimate the parameter? And also how do you say your model is fitting to the real situation? So we have linear and also the non-linear, the model as well. So we cover the least square, the method, and then based on some transformation, then we can apply the linear, the method to do the fitting of the estimation. We also have some challenging. The topic is the Chebyshev, the approximation, the criterion. So that one will be on the linear programming idea. And then the second portion of this course is we are covering the differential equations, the model. Right, so this is some example of the we covered in this course so far in here, and we are on the system of the differential equations, and we have a scenario is the one regional, the airport. So one hub in here, then you have several, the airline is available. Then what will be the trend of the traveler? If they take this flight is American airline, then will they switch to another airline and so on? So we build up this kind of the model and to let the student to figure out what will happen of the equilibrium, the solution. So they're exciting about that. And about the projects, and I hear the previous the talk someone saying about the coffee, and we also have the project about the taste of the coffee. But this one is not about using the differential equations, the model typically. What I require from the student is, can they set up the equation to figure out what kind of the factor will affect the taste of the coffee. One of the idea will be mainly the student will use is the temperature of the water. And someone also cover about the coffee bean as well. And also the coffee, the cream, it will affect the taste of the coffee. And then the other one is about the safety of the stuntman. So far I assigned this one and then to the class. In fact, this idea is come from the MCM, the competition, the questions. So far I only have one student, okay, they try this challenge. And the other one is a popular one is about the COVID-19. So majority they choose this model and then to figure out and investigate. So this is the comparison. And in my projects, I assign the individual the projects, and I also assign the team project. Individual the project, they have their own flexibility. They can have their own creative idea, but we have some pattern I would like them to follow. They need to write down their assumptions, and then their mathematical formula will be based on their assumptions they list out. And so this is the individual the project I put down on the 2018, and then in the 2020. So this is the project I have. And the stuntman, this project, in fact, it was my team project I had for my class in the spring 2018. And then for the team project, this is the team project. So I grouped the student around 2 to 3 students in one team, and then they work together. So they need to do some kind of the coordination and make sure that they research the references, and then to go through that and provide the references in their written the report. and they will present their result in front of their classmates. But in the year of the 2020, so a few months ago, so all our students, they joined the school team, the number 5, the contest. They're exciting about that work. And we have 2 teams, they choose the problem number 8. And then 1 team choose the problem number B. Unfortunately, 1 team is not able to get to the deadline. So that's why it will be some challenges and for them. But let me share a little bit more about my classes divided in this course. Yes. In 2018, then the modeling the class, this is an interactive, the ITV the course. This is a challenge work. I have some students in the main campus and then some years on the remote site. So I will have some time staying in the main campus, and then I have around 1 time in a month, and then I will go to the remote site and then to teach over there, and then broadcast my lecture and back, and so on. And I'll go back. I'm sorry. And when they do the presentation, student is going to, I mean, their classmate, they are going to judge each other. And in 2020, all the classes in here, we changed to online. So it will be a big challenge for us. And when we do the judging, and I will follow the rubrics of the school team, the rubric. So this is the rubric we are using. So when they present their work, then are they well executed? And then is it well communicated and essentially correct? And I will also using these same rubrics when I grade their report as well. And most of the time, students will spend their time is just solving their model on their own. So we provide some basic tools for them. The way to solve the differential equations, and then the fundamental idea for the solving the differential equations, integrating the factor, and then the separation of the variable. And what I figured out is the teaching this course, I would say 2.5 times. From what I can share with you is students, they have a little or no background about the mathematical modeling. And they do not have any experience to self the reasoning for their assumptions. The assumptions sometimes will be kind of unimaginable. You may not be able to put down into the mathematical formula. So you have to talk to them. And the mathematical, the formula and the relations may not fit, or it will not totally, okay, will not have any concrete, the evidence support, or any physical law, and then to support the idea. So when they have the problem, they don't know how to solve it. They don't know how to handle it. So that's why the team project is giving them some idea for the mutual support. And they have a little, and then the experience to write their report and prepare the PowerPoint. And they need a lot of the practice on their presentation as well. All right, this is the some changing I did in the year of the 2020. So about the discussions, because we switched the class online, so that we're using the Zoom. And I divide the student around 2 to 3 groups each time, and then into the break room. And I prepare the questions for them. So they will answer some of my questions during their break time for about 20 minutes or 5 minutes like that. It is varying. It depends on how long of their discussions, but I try to limit them within the 20 minutes. And then after the discussion, they will share their discussions to your class, to their classmates online. And on the other hand is I also post the questions on the blackboard. So they need to post their thought on the blackboard. and also response some posts right there. So this is something is new I did in the last semester. And what I find out is their response is mostly is to praise and support their classmates. So students, they need a lot of encouragement. And some response I find out that is they will say the different idea. So A will say different idea to the B as well. And then the topics I covered that is the COVID-19, the population, the dynamic. One student suggests is about the national data. He really did some research work and then to give these suggestions. We also say how to prepare for the student in number 5. So this is some resources for the COVID-19 spreading. So we are using the NCTM, the resources. We can do the simulation right there. And then the national data. Interesting, the feature is unemployment, the rate is falling from 2015 to 2019. But however, the spending, our national the spending is rising. So we want to investigate any kind of the relationship between them. So they will list out their thought and any assumptions right there. And about the online, the resources, this is the one we use. And let me highlight in the middle is in last semester, then I have a colleague and then to share about the idea of the Runge cutter method and then to the class. Let me say a little bit about the student, the preparations. And we will explain the procedure, how to prepare the report, what do they need. And they are encouraged to using the graph and the diagrams in their report and also their PowerPoints. Most of our students, they are familiar with the Microsoft Word, but the later is it depends. Some may know that, some may not know it. And remind them, make sure that they will print their name on the cover, the page. And I also encourage them and then to incorporate some short video in their presentation. And this is the some picture I would like to share with you for the school team, the competitions. We joined the 2, 3, 4, and then to the 5. These competitions. So we join 4 times. So the student is able to practice their modeling process. This is our number 3. We sent 2 teams. And school team number 2, we just send 1 team to the local, the region. And we have 2 teams in here. In 2019, we have 1 team. So we are working together and then do the preparation, the work. So this is the picture. Okay, we take it outside and then in the hallway of our college. So what I hear from my student is they find this content is fun and also meaningful for them. And let me share about the feedback from Natalie in 2018. So she said that I was able to learn and how to create differential equations using the real life event. And then she will know how to use more than a way and then 2 way. And this is the more details. And then Robert in 2019, and he said that his school team number 5 was a valuable opportunity to work with a team and in applying the mathematics to find the possible solution to the real world problems. So I would say students, they are really, really excited for that. And this is the whole details. All right, so more is from me is, in fact, what I found from my students is they gain more as well because they learn how to create their own PowerPoints, produce the video, work together, and apply their knowledge to solve the real world problem, and organize their idea and put this one together. But most important for them is they find fun and also challenges. So that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Chen, for a wonderful presentation, and we learned so much from you. about your modeling class and the projects, the kind of projects that you do. So we have, I think, like less than a minute for questions to be accepted. So if anybody has questions for Dr. Chen. If no one has, I have a question for you, Dr. Chen. So suppose
Yes.
students finish a report, right, for the class. Do they extend beyond it? Do they show kind of an enthusiasm to extend the report for a publication or so in an undergraduate research journal?
This is the one I would like to do that. And then I will look at their result. Is it reasonable and compare, because I'm also do the judging as well for the student. So I will compare the result to the outsider. Really, I found that some is really valuable and then should be published. And also promote the student this event in the campus as well. And in my math club today, they also cover this one and say this student the competitions to the rest of their classmates. So I'm so happy, and then they spread out this news in our campus.